So in this particular lecture, we will be discussing about truncated waves. So before discussing about truncated waves, let's summarize what we have learned so far. So we have learned that a motive wave looks something like this, or roughly like this. Wave 1 up, wave 2 down, 3 up, 4 down, and 5 up. So the thing worth noting, or the thing I want you to keep in mind over here, is that if you look at this chart, this wave 3 has taken out the high of this wave 1, or the peak of this wave 1, and this wave 5 has taken out the peak of this wave 3, or the high of wave 3. So this is what we will say is a normal motive wave, or the most expected way a motive wave is supposed to progress. Now if we draw a truncated wave side by side, the point of difference comes in the fifth wave. Everything else is the same, it's just the fifth wave. So if we notice, let me draw a line at the high of this wave 3. So if you will notice a truncated wave, we will find that the wave 5 never takes out this line, which is also the high of wave 3. So basically wave 5 will end below this line, or the high of wave 3, and then the market will fall down. So this can also be said as a failure of the fifth wave to take out the high of the third wave, and hence a truncated wave truncated motive wave is also called a failed fifth. Once again I repeat, it's called a failed fifth because the fifth wave has failed to take out the high of the wave 3, and hence it can be called either a truncated wave or a failed fifth. So that's basically the phenomena occurring in an impulse, where an impulsive wave going in the upward direction, the fifth wave will not take out the high of the third wave. Let's have a look at a standard example that I have right here on screen. We have the chart of Maruti Suzuki. If you can see on the top left corner, and we are on the 4-hour chart. So if we start our discussion from this point, or point of reference, we have a wave 1 completing over here, 2 completing over here, 3 over here, 4 over here, and this is our wave 5. Now if we go and take a line and put it at the high of this wave 3, let me remove these drawings. So if we put it at the high of wave 3, then we can see that this line was never taken out on the upside. So this means that we have a failure on the part of the wave 5 to take out the high of wave 3, and hence this becomes what? A failed fifth, or what we say, a truncated wave. Now one thing I want to clarify here, which is of vital importance, is that truncated waves are not that common. I don't have a statistical observation, but I will guess that they occur maybe around 10-15% or maybe even less. We can guesstimate that this is a truncated fifth wave, but we could have also said that this was just a wave 4 continuation when this was forming as a sort of flat structure, and then we will have another wave up. And that is because the reason that these structures are extremely, or not extremely, but quite rare. And another thing worth noting in regards to truncations is that once a truncation is formed, the next leg down will be fast. Now why do I say that? There's a simple market reasoning behind it. In general, we want the market to go like this. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this will be 5. So wave 3 is taking out the high of 1, and wave 5 is taking out the high of wave 3. So this is the normal impulsive behavior, right? Now if we look at a truncation, what is happening is everything is normal up till the point of wave 3, but the wave 5 is unable to take out the high of wave 3, which means that the sellers are dominating the market. They don't even want the market to complete its typical behavior, which is to take out the high of wave 3, because as I mentioned that most likely the wave 5 will take out the high of wave 3 in more than 80-85% of the cases, because truncated waves are quite rare, or not quite rare but very less frequently occurring. So here what we observe is that if this non-frequent thing is happening in the market, that means the sellers are so dominant that they do not want the market to even complete its normal expected pattern. Then that means only one thing, that their bias to the downside or the bearish side is very strong, and which leads to the conclusion that the market will see a sharp fall after a truncation. And if we even look at this particular chart over here, after this truncation completed over here, you can see the sharp fall of the market or the angle of this fall, and compare it with the angle of the rise. So clearly the market fall was extremely sharp after a truncation. This is a general phenomena that you should keep in mind. A failed fifth or a truncated wave is the one in which the wave 5 will not take out the high of wave 3. It is not a common thing. It happens not that frequently, and hence it is not something that you will see on every other chart. It actually is a hand-picked chart, by the way. I have only a few examples of truncated waves. As I just said, it happens very less frequently, and that's why this lecture is also added later on in the course and not during the actual recording process when I was recording the whole course. Now there is another thing when we come to corrections, that a corrective pattern, it might not make sense right now, but as you proceed in this course and go to the corrective structures part, you will come to understand that there is a pattern something like this, ABC, which we call a zigzag. And in that particular pattern we can sometimes see a C wave failing to take out the high of this A wave. Once again, that is extremely rare, so I'll advise you to keep this pattern in mind, but also keep in mind the fact that it does not happen all the time. So don't go around marking the waves as, okay, this is a truncated fifth, because the frequency of that happening is quite low. And as I just discussed, this is the other structure, that if we have a corrective structure as a zigzag, then sometimes this wave C might not go above the high of wave A. They happen even less frequently than this failed fifth. This will be called a failed C, and this is what we call a failed fifth. And as I said, don't worry too much about this structure that I just discussed. As you go on into the corrective structures part, you will get a clear picture of what I just said over here. And that is about concludes this lecture, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.